Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Still trying to figure out how to stream with the OBS platform. My son showed me a little bit yesterday, but getting like multiple screens up and watching the chat feed, it's a little bit difficult, so we're probably going to go over it again this week. But I already have the Twitch account. It's Eagle Trading. Some of the stuff I'll be looking at in the morning in real time, which is going to be a lot better. I noticed like some of the people that I follow, you'll get an alert that'll say, Eagle Trading is live, and we can look at stuff like today. We would have talked about like a short in Boeing from the get-go. This gone too far, 170s. I think we were at all the way up to 226. If you look at the 1 year, you can see a candle, kind of a hanging candle here, back in this little area up here where it made its huge surge of the upside. This last candle here, right here, if you kind of zoom in, this one right here before the pullback, the high, that's 226 and change. And after making this huge run, this is a 1 year daily. So you zoom in intraday and you can see in pre-market that high 226. And then the big money, needs liquidity, so they wait for this to open up and they sell into it. Buy the rumor, sell the news on the Boeing plane that got approval from the FAA to go back into circulation. But you can kind of see the head pattern here, then breaking down on the neckline before you even create the right shoulder. So a big pivot breakdown there from the get-go. Then you start to kind of form a little bit more of a intraday shape where you're bouncing here, and then you're bouncing here, and then bouncing here. And as you zoom in, you can see that wedge start to break here, and then you form another pattern. I did a short after the open, and I just covered real early just to kind of lock in some profit, not knowing direction. I need to see some shape change first. And you can kind of see these little breakdowns here. Let me remove some of these things here. These are little alerts for me to where to make more moves at. But this bear flag break here was going to be a next resistance area. So when we started to climb up here and get into the red zone on the RSI, right there, I thought, okay, it's not going to be able to get back over there. It's already come pretty far from the bottom. And I'm still looking for a downward move. So I thought another good place to take a short. And I put my stop just above there at like 216.80. The problem is that the pivot break here, wedge, I covered some at like 214.90, and then I covered some along this triple horizontal bottom, like where we kind of touched here, touched here, touched here, and I left a lot of money on the table. But now you can see how that became resistance, and we continued on our way down. And that area will probably become, resistance on the way back up around 212.70. I'm still looking for 208s. Actually, we got into 208s, didn't we? Yeah, we did. I'm still looking for 205 then possibly tomorrow, but you've got a big move down now from 220. And a lot of these bounces that you see may be short covering. So it looks like it could come online a little bit more. GDXJ on the gold trade here. Wow, we just hit a level. I probably would have taken JNUG there, wasn't watching. But on the 1 year daily, we're getting into some weird areas here. That we need to turn back up real quick, or we're going to have a big problem on GDXJ. This was another channel upper top pivot that we look at right here, right here, right here, and that became a resistance area. It was weird that we broke down and even got below intraday, this little channel line here, and then popped all the way back up, breaking this little bull wedge or bear wedge that we had formed, right? Top here, top here, top here. And we pushed through there, so I don't know if that was short covering or just some momentum trading, thinking that we had higher prices to go. But they broke this little wedge in here, the little channel wedge channel. And then right here, they break it, and then hitting this bottom part of this upward channel, like a narrower line, and then all the way back down to retest this bottom. So not looking too good here. I'm wondering why we came all the way back down here. And I guess the answer is that if you look on like a 5 year weekly, we're not looking so good on the MACD here. Here's your 5 year weekly, and let's kind of zoom in a little bit and I'll show you. Not that we even need to go back that far, but we got way overbought here on the upside from this big move down. And I'm sure if I put a Fibonacci on there, we probably have some numerical references to look at. But now you're starting to kind of form a wedge, and you're getting some body candle into that lower support area. The problem is when you look at the MACD and the RSI, you'd think those would be near support areas with a curl starting to approach, but they're not. They're starting to look ugly. We're starting to lose some relative strength, and we're getting some expansion with some move to the downside. So could we actually go down and start to hit into the lower part of that channel, which would be a decent drop from there, going all the way back down in here before we start a longer term move back up? Yeah, we definitely could, which is kind of scary. And if you look at a Fibonacci here, and we do common touches, just got an alert there, sorry about that. And we do common touches on the top area, we'll see where we're at. So I don't want to use that wick because that's a long wick, even though it's a channel top. But if you look at the common touches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of along in there, and you get onto the bottom here, you can kind of see we're right at support here at the 50% retracement, right there. So between this initial pullback from the big move from the bottom to the rocket higher, we're right there. We're totally neutral, 50% retracement. And that means that we really have no direction here. Bulls and bears are at an impasse. So the continuation move here, if it gets below 52.40 on a close, is starting to look a little bit bearish on the miners. So be cautious with that. NIO, a day trade special. Look at that chart. Way overbought. This thing was like 30 cents, and now we're up to 54. I did catch a Fibonacci extension there at like 53 and change, I think. So I think this is, I think the high is in now, but you're still going to see day traders, right? Going in and out. Earnings came out before the open yesterday, or was it after the close? After the close yesterday, I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken. And you can kind of see, you know, trailing down. They bought the dip, as they always do in NIO, because the stock is well loved. It might be some kind of a channel, whoops, along here. But do I think this is going to continue to go higher? No, I don't. I think this is just day traders in here. And you can kind of see the wedge break there, right? Even if you use pre-market, and then they popped this bull flag, back tested it, and then it went. I mean, that would have been a nice trade there. I'm not trading it. Now you have a double top kind of a look here. I'm not super positive on NIO. I think you could get a lot of chop, meaning that you could run all the way up to 47 and change, 46.90, then break down again from there over the next few days. And over time, you could work your way down into the 38, 39 area. I know it sounds crazy, but this is just day traders in here and speculators. I think the high is in for NIO. The funny thing is, I said the other day, stuff like Lee Auto has been more resilient, all right? This one's bullish looking because it hasn't had the massive run that NIO's had. So I'd be more prone to buy this on pullbacks than I would to buy NIO. And then my AYRO that I own, also bullish. Wow, almost hit a 50% retracement from a bigger move that I've been looking at on the 1-year daily there. There you can see the move right there. Nice Fibonacci retracement. Probably going to have some big resistance here at the 440 area. If it gets through there, I'd be impressed. Here's BA now back up to the 211 intraday. I just got an alert on that. So that's the kind of stuff we'll be looking at. You might be able to get back up into that descending or the ascending channel line there on Boeing. Another one that's kind of a speculative one that I'm looking at, and don't judge me on this one, it's like a funeral home stock. And I was looking for something that could be one of those theme plays, you know, those little penny stocks that people buy into and they go up 1,000%. And this one kind of caught my interest. Like I said, kind of morbid. I'm trying to add to it, but it's not going to let me add, so I might as well remove that. I got a couple thousand shares of this. STON, Stonemore. Kind of an interesting chart, right? Getting a little overbought, but the MACD looks kind of cool here. Big volume spike, pullback. And now you kind of have this little pivot break here, channel line. Kind of, well, you could kind of do it like that, actually, where you have a little bit of directional change there. Right? You pull up, pull back, little head fake down here, and then boom, gets back up and rockets. Now you're kind of pulling back up, and now you have another wedge that just broke in here to the upside. So interesting moves, and maybe we create another channel top with that line right there. Oh, look how nicely that lines up. So maybe we kind of pull up there again, $1.38, $1.40 before we pull back. Who the heck knows? But I did buy some of this. I think I had a stop in, I don't know, 78 cents. Not much downside below the little pivot break. Maybe 74 cents was my stop. So there's that. MFA we've been talking about, looking good still. Got a nice position in that. We had talked about this the other day, breaking above the 200-day moving average. I'm telling you, these stocks that are very COVID sensitive have really been moving lately. Even DraftKings, with the idea that sports could get back to normal in a few months, is looking strong on weakness. Now we're above the 200-day moving average on MFA. We talked about this one a couple days ago, and making nice moves here and getting above that old peak. So interesting action there. Next target price would be 440 on that one. I'm not saying go out and buy it. Netgear looks fine today. NTGR, we like that one on weakness. Bought that at 29.32. That's looking pretty good. Market's a little bit neutral here. SPY, I'm not so impressed. There's a lot of lines there. Sorry about that. I don't know. I was charting an intraday today. It just kind of looks like non-directional again. You can kind of see the stuff that I draw. Looking still for another pullback here to 361-ish area. But who knows? I do some scalps intraday, so that's what all that spider web crap is. But DraftKings, yeah, I'm a little upset because I missed the pullback today. I was just about ready to pull the trigger on DraftKings right in here for a 500 share trade. I usually use like a 20-cent stop, so that would have been a nice trade just as it started to pull back in here and then rocket it up because I figured it would break. It would break through the high of the day in this little wedge, and it sure did. And man, I'm a little bit disappointed there because I don't know, I could have made $1,000 on that one. But this 50% retracement that you're looking at here is definitely going to be an energy area where it's going to be hard for DraftKings to get through in the short term, and that was derived from the first candle bounce pullback to the bottom. We held the 200-day, and then we're right back up here. So look for, if you're long DraftKings, I might lighten up a little bit at this area here, 48.50, and maybe look to re-enter on weakness if you're long DraftKings there. And that's it, guys.